Hello, my name is Olivia Simmendinger, and I will be talking about my favorite part of the brain, the hypothalamus. The name hypothalamus translates to below the thalamus. So, as you probably guessed, it is located right below the thalamus, very deep in the brain. More specifically, it is located rostrally and ventrally relative to the thalamus. The hypothalamus is also a part of the forebrain. What we know about the hypothalamus. So, what we know is that it is extremely small. The hypothalamus makes up only 0.33% of the brain weight, and it is roughly the size of a pea. The hypothalamus is also part of the limbic system. This is the main part of the brain involved in our behavioral and emotional responses. Finally, the hypothalamus keeps the body in a balanced and stable state called homeostasis. Homeostasis is essentially a balance among all the systems of the body needed for the body to survive and function correctly. Next, we will talk about the functions of the hypothalamus. The first function of the hypothalamus is that it serves as a regulatory control center in our bodies. This was best explained to me using an analogy comparing the hypothalamus to a smart control system you would have in your house. This smart control is used to help manage all the functions in your home in one place, just like the hypothalamus does to our bodies. It helps our bodies manage our body temperature, blood pressure, hunger and thirst, sense of fullness, mood, sex drive, sleep, and other biorhythms. The hypothalamus is able to regulate all of these behaviors because of its unique structure. Unlike most parts of the brain, which are single homogeneous structures, it is instead a collection of nuclei. This allows for each nucleus to participate in the specific behaviors of the body. Another function of the hypothalamus is that it directs our body's automatic nervous system. The automatic nervous system is a system in our bodies that controls the bodily functions that work automatically. This system is in the PNS, or the peripheral nervous system. The hypothalamus works with the automatic nervous system by receiving chemical messages from nerve cells in your body, which is also responding to signals outside your body. The hypothalamus receives these signals and sends out new signals directing the body on what it should do. A few examples of how the hypothalamus helps the automatic nervous system is by directing it to speed up or slow down your heart rate, or contracting or inhibiting your bladder. The final main function of the hypothalamus is that it controls the endocrine system. The endocrine system is made up of several organs, which are known as glands. These glands create and release hormones. Hormones are the chemicals in your body that coordinate different functions by carrying messages through your body to various organs, skin, muscles, and other tissues. The hypothalamus regulates this system by using information from the body to determine when to tell other glands to produce these hormones. The next topic about the hypothalamus we will discuss is the pituitary gland. Now I know it seems weird to talk about another part of the brain when my presentation is about a different part, but the role of the hypothalamus on the pituitary gland cannot be understated. The pituitary gland, which is directly connected to the hypo, hypothalamus is responsible for releasing many of the hormones mentioned in the previous slide. The pituitary gland is broken down into two main parts, the anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary. The hypothalamus receives signals from the body and, in return, releases hormones to the anterior pituitary to tell them when to release their hormones to the rest of the body. One example of this is the hypothalamus will release growth hormone releasing hormone, which will tell the anterior pituitary when to release growth hormone. This hormone stimulates growth in your long bones and big muscles. The posterior pituitary is responsible for storing two of the hormones released by the hypothalamus, oxytocin and vasopressin. Damage to the hypothalamus will cause it to not function as it should. Any damage done to the hypothalamus will lead to hypothalamic dysfunction. The main cause of hypothalamic dysfunction is any direct contact with the hypothalamus, but in rare cases, genetic disorders can affect it. Some examples of direct contact would include a traumatic brain injury, a brain tumor, brain surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, and many more. Although there is no condition for just hypothalamic dysfunction, it does play a role in many other conditions. As the hypothalamus is responsible for receiving many signals from throughout the body, if there is a damage done to it, then it will have trouble regulating the sending of proper hormones at the right time. One example of this is Prader-Willi syndrome. This is a condition where the hypothalamus does not recognize the body's sensation of being full when eating. Without this sensation, you have a constant urge to eat and are at a high risk for obesity. As the hypothalamus is so small and located so deep in the brain, there are almost no procedures that can be done on this part of the brain. The only successful surgeries on the hypothalamus I have is when a hypothalamic hamartoma is a oh, sorry. The only successful surgeries on the hypothalamus I have is when a hypothalamic hamartoma, a benign tumor, is removed from it. There are no surgeries I have found that are directly on the hypothalamus, apart from the one known as posterior hypothalamus sparing surgery, which is relatively untested. Thank you.